Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Oh, hey, Elizabeth Dutton, what are you doing here?
Just hanging out.
Do you happen to know anything that's ridiculous?
I do.
You know what's ridiculous?
I do.
Would you let me know?
Yeah, I can let you know. That we don't have a lot of novelty songs lately. That's ridiculous. Well, like in the 80s and then into the 90s, we'd have top 40 novelty hits.
Ah, okay.
You know, like
what about like the Bahama Men and like
well, it's not now. How many? No. It was like 50 years ago.
Okay, I think that was the early 2000s. But yeah, I get your point.
I'm trying to overestimate because I'll tell people it was 10 years ago in the 90s and it wasn't.
So wait.
I'm erring on the side of caution when I say 50 years.
So you're telling me that Post Malone is not novelty songs? I'm kidding.
Maybe.
I like Post Malone.
No, but like, Disco Duck and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Macho Duck.
Yeah, all the duck songs.
All the various duck.
All the 2000 snacks. Like, or just one hit wonder, catchy kind of, I don't know.
So you're talking like the 99 Balloons?
Sure. No, more novelty songs.
Like actual novelty.
Yeah.
So like Rock Me Amadeus by Falco.
Right. And here's the thing, though. I don't listen to current popular music, so maybe there are a ton of them.
Yeah, I was going to say. Maybe you should be over there on TikTok checking out the novelty songs.
Yeah, well, maybe.
No?
Maybe.
You know what's ridiculous? You don't go on TikTok. There we go.
So ridiculous.
Well, I got a story for you that's kind of ridiculous.
I'd love to hear it.
You in the mood?
Always.
Okay. How about a story of a man who was famous for hosting a TV game show called Bowling for Dollars? And then the same man, he went on to be the guy, the mastermind, if you will, to rig a state lottery.
Oh.
Yeah. It's called the 666 Fix. And this is a story that's about as Pennsylvania as it comes.
Nice.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. Elizabeth.
Zaron.
What do you know about Pennsylvania?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
Oh, you're in luck. I happen to have a few fun facts for you.
Wasn't it William Penn is the founder?
Correct.
And he likes the woods, thus Sylvania.
Yes, we'll get into that.
That's
the extent of what you know?
That's it.
Well, Pennsylvania is the 5th most populous state.
Okay.
Although the people there will tell you it's actually the 5th most populous commonwealth. The real particular about that.
Yeah.
It's known these days as a decider of presidential elections. It's also home to the Philadelphia Eagles and their battery-tossing fans. And it's home to the Steelers, the Flyers, the Penguins, the Harrisburg Senators.
Isn't Gritty?
Gritty?
What's Gritty?
Philadelphia Flyers, the
there
mascot.
You go.
Very good.
I like
good
that
call.
thing. Oh, and the Four Seasons Total Landscaping.
Four Seasons also
one
good.
of my all-time favorite things ever.
Very good. There's also the Hershey Amusement Park and Factory Tour, where you can see how chocolate gets made. Now, beyond sports, chocolate, the kind that makes Europeans gag, we have, what else do we need to know about Pennsylvania?
Crime?
Well, you already got into the name part.
Oh.
It's named for William Penn.
Yeah.
Sylvania means Penn's Woods. Do you know the story how it got that name? It wasn't him. He did not name it after himself.
Oh, really?
Someone else named it Penn's Woods.
Oh.
Right? That somebody else was King Charles II. King Charles II was the King of Scotland and the King of England. After Oliver Cromwell died, that's a whole deal. We won't get into that. The point is, in 1681, King Charles, he went over to William Penn's daddy and he's like, hey man, I know I owe you a bunch of money to help me win back my kingdom. So I owe you some ducats. How about this? I'll give you some land in the Americas. And Pops is like, give it to my boy, right? And so he's like, cool. Gives it to his son. He's like, hey, William Penn, look, instead of money, I'm a little light on it. I'm going to give you land in the Americas. And how about that? And he's like, oh, that's very nice of you, Your Majesty. Thank you very much. He's like, yeah, man, you'll love it. The place got a ton of trees. I think we should advertise that. So let's call it William Penn's Tree Land. No, William Penn's Woods. He's like, yeah, I like that. There, it's done. William Penn's like, no, don't name it after me. I'm a Quaker, so we can't have that.
Yeah.
How about, let's name it New Wales. How about that? New Wales. Kind of got a whole new vibe to it. You know, it's the Americas. Everything's new there. And he's like, no, I don't like that. I already got my guys working on it. They're using the good vellum. So let's just go with Williams Penn's Woods. And he's like, no, bro, come on. Your Majesty. Could we just name it something other than that? How about, Sylvania. Like Elizabeth said, that's a good one. And he's like, King's like, nah, I don't know. I told you, got the charter going. He's like, okay, I'll split it with you. Pennsylvania, my Sylvania. And he's like, I love it. And eventually got shortened to Pennsylvania. Now, I spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania as a kid.
Oh, really?
So I like Pennsylvania a bunch.
Just like on your own?
Yeah, I was just
went there by yourself just
I was
to
like,
go?
oh. I took my bindle. I hobo hopped onto a train going east, and I didn't stop until we ran out of continent. And then I was like, back up a state, take me to Pennsylvania. No, I have a cousin. I have a whole family, but I have a whole family that lives in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, which is just near Harrisburg, which is the capital of Pennsylvania. So I would be there hanging out around the same time that the star of today's story was just getting out of prison where he'd been spending his time for fixing the state lottery.
Wow.
And now I'd like to introduce you to the former host of Bowling for Dollars and the hero of our day, Nick Perry.
Nick Perry.
That's not his government name. Government name was Nicholas Perry Katsanphanis. He was Greek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the dude was a World War II veteran, Navy man, tough guy, like actual, salt of the earth. Gets back from the war. He's like, what am I going to do? It's a new country. He decides, I'm going to get involved in this radio. I think I got a good voice for radio. Gets involved. Then there's a new medium that pops up called television. He's like, hey, I'm going to bounce over to that. So he starts working at the television station from Pittsburgh. He gets a job and he's hosting a live televised polka party.
Hot.
Yeah. First television station in Pittsburgh's like, you know what we need? Live polka.
Polka party. Let's go.
Polka. So this is about, 1950s. Okay. In 1958, he gets hired to become this new thing that's been invented called a TV announcer. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be this guy. I announce. And they're like, okay, that's cool. What do you announce? Stuff on TV.
Let's talk about it.
So he gets his job at Pittsburgh station WTAE. Now, WTAE, this is where he becomes what you might call Pittsburgh famous. This is where he gets his shows, the two most popular shows in Pittsburgh television at the time, Bowling for Dollars and Championship Bowling.
Oh, he's a bowling guy.
Oh, big. Now, can you guess what Bowling for Dollars was like?
I think they may have had a version out here.
I believe so.
Because I remember when I was a little kid on...
Yeah, it stayed a popular idea.
Yeah.
But he pretty much
He invented the... So I don't know. I just remember the name of it. I don't remember the show itself.
Imagine Family Feud with no questions and instead bowling balls.
So they're just like...
Two families competing in a bowling match.
So it's just like semi-pro bowling.
It's like amateurs, but then they also have like, they have their whole family vibe of like, come on, Mom, pick up that 710 split, right?
Oh, God.
Exactly. And it's just...
Riveting is what it's...
Well, it's corny. I'll admit. It's totally corny, and it's a lot of fun to watch. We'll put up a clip on Instagram so you can see what this looks like.
Perfect.
It is worth it just for the fashion alone, because the clips we're going to put up are from the 70s, which is...
Love it. Love it.
Great oranges, greens you haven't seen since then.
Vibrant.
So, now, if you can imagine Pittsburgh in the 1970s, this guy, Nick Perry, he's been a fixture in the Pittsburgh scene for a while. And we get into the 70s and Pittsburgh's cooking along, even though everything's not really going well for the city in terms of the steel industry is shutting down. So it's a hard time for this, industrial city, this blue collar city. Nick Perry is there for the people. He keeps them Pittsburgh proud.
Got it.
Right? Now, just to give you a sense of this, when he would go on to his show, he loved to play up as being a TV announcer. He made sure that he was, brought on with the right flair. So he had this catchphrase you would always hear, and they'd say, "It's the man with all the dollars, the kingpin himself, Nick Perry." Right? Just all kinds of cheesy, right? Now, the news people at the station, they still love this guy. He was like, he's not a hard journalist, but he's not just like a ham that they're like, oh, this is...
He's one of the crew, yeah.
Totally one of the crew. And they love him because he loves Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh loves him. The news anchor, Stu Emery at WTAE.
That's such a good news anchor name.
Right?
Stu Emery.
Stu Emery here with the traffic on the fives. We'll be back with weather.
His real name is like Filbert Furt. He's like, no, Stu Emery.
So Filbert Furt, he said, and I quote, Nick Perry was very Pittsburgh, and he was very Pittsburgh in his questions and the kind of people who were on the show. He was down to earth and humorous and fun, and his strong personality came through, and he was just about as dapper a dresser as I had seen. So, right, yeah, we put a little more on pepper on this.
Right.
Also a dapper dresser. Now, WTAE news director Joe Ravito, he also had something to say about what we call the essence of Nick Perry. Joe Ravito said, and I quote, "Nick became a local star with Bowling for Dollars. That was his real breakthrough to the public. He did a beautiful job with it. He was very knowledgeable, a bowling enthusiast. He took it all very seriously. It was a big deal to him, and he was a very conscientious guy as a reporter, anchor, and host of that program." Notice he calls him a reporter because he talks to people.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah,
sure,
he's a reporter.
Sure.
Now, during the 70s, as I said, he becomes this beloved figure. The city needs him. He loves Pittsburgh. Bowling for Dollars, to give you a sense of this, it was regularly drawing more viewers during its nighttime broadcast than the nighttime news at the time on all of the other stations.
Wow.
Yeah. They were like, we don't need to know what Gerald Ford said about inflation.
No.
Just give us the 7-10 splits.
Exactly. Escapism.
So Nick Perry also would turn to the people of Pittsburgh. He would go out there, give them some love. They give him some love. I kind of like to picture it like you've seen Anchorman, the Will Ferrell movie. So swap San Diego for Pittsburgh, swap news anchor for Bowling for Dollars, and you basically got the vibe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Okay, so in 1971, we get our big complication. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they decide to snatch business away from all the mobbed up numbers runners, and they say, you know what, we can do this. We can do bad all by ourselves. So they come up with the Pennsylvania State Lottery. Now, this is a thing at the time. A lot of the numbers, and for those who don't know, numbers, Elizabeth, is a game where somebody would basically draw random numbers, and then everybody in the community, they would be guessing what those numbers would be, right? Every day.
Sort of a lottery.
And so this was what the lottery replaced. It was basically the local numbers game, and you go to your numbers guy and tell them the numbers you think you're going to win. And the numbers were picked usually from like either a racetrack, how the finishes of horses went, or something in the newspaper. It'd be something that nobody could control.
Yeah.
So that way everybody could see what was occurring. Well, the lottery needs the same type of thing. So they decide, you know what? We're going to do a TV show and we'll broadcast the numbers. And so they have this nightly broadcast that'll show the winning numbers as they're drawn so everybody can see it at the exact same time. And they know there's nothing hinky going on, right? So who do you think they pick to host the show?
Our dude.
WTAE's Nick Perry.
Yep.
So Nick Perry, he's selected as the announcer, this former World War II veteran. He's also, by the way, a Sunday school kind of guy. He's a choir leader at his church.
A Rotarian.
Like salt of the earth, good guy, right? And 3 years later, a grand jury would determine that Pennsylvania should bring charges against Nick Perry for colluding to rig the state lottery. So what happened in this time? And now, I'd also like to point out that this dude had the rank temerity to rig the lottery and to rob the lottery live on the air.
Oh.
Right? Allegedly. Allegedly. But I guess I don't say allegedly because he was sentenced and convicted. So
he did it. He done did it.
The state says so.
Yeah.
Now, after this short break, we'll get into the 666 fix of the Pennsylvania lottery. Dutton, do you like to play the lottery?
ZBBs. I always talk to people about how I talk to everyone, random strangers.
I see you do that. Sometimes
go out
in
on the
public,
street.
I'm like, again with the talking.
I stop people.
She always wants to talk about the lottery.
I've said many, many times I have this plan if I won the lottery, like how I would divvy up the money. And I don't want to get into it now.
Okay.
It's proprietary information. But I'd be really good at winning the lottery if I ever bought a ticket.
That's what you just about to ask.
Yeah.
You have these plans, but do you play?
No.
Because you can't win if you don't play.
No.
That's what the ads tell me.
Yeah, right? No. And then they'll say like, warning, if you have a gambling problem, don't do this. But
do you have a gambling problem? Is that why you don't do it?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, for you, those are the people who don't know about lotteries. They have various ones. There's the scratch-off kind, right? And then there's like the the weekly draws, like the Mega Millions, where you pick like 6 numbers. And then there are smaller lotteries that are more based on what I was talking earlier about, the numbers game, where they have what's called the daily number or the daily draw, right? So the daily draw, a person goes, in Pennsylvania at least, they go and they buy a ticket and they can spend between 50 cents and $5 on this ticket. And then they can pick a certain amount of numbers based on how much they spend. And they get to pick 3 numbers. So the numbers can be between 0 and 9. And the order of the numbers matters. So if you put 314 and the numbers are 143 that are drawn, you don't win. It's got to be exactly the way. So, so there's 2 forms. It's the numbers and the order, right? At 1 minute before 7 p.m. every night, Nick Perry and a local senior citizen go on to the WTAE set and they appear on screen, and the senior citizen gets to select at random the numbers. And keep in mind, the senior also gets picked at random from all the area senior citizens' homes. They don't go and like pick the most like charismatic. They just pick any senior citizen at random and they put them on TV. Some are winners, some are complete duds.
Yeah.
You should look up on YouTube, WTAE Daily. Yes,
I intend to.
I'll put up one clip of the moment when the rigging occurred, and you can see how it plays out. So this randomly selected senior citizen who gets to go up there and randomly select the balls, they're supposed to stand there as the balls are, and if you've seen this, they'll be in like a clear like bubble, and they'll be bouncing around. And so for this one, each number has its own bubble. So there's 0 through 9 balls in each one. They're all jumbling around, and all of a sudden one shoots up to the top, and the senior citizen is in charge of turning it around so that the camera can see it, which is not the job I'd give them, but it works out for some great fun when you watch. Now, if you have all 3 winning numbers and you get them in the order they were selected, you could win $500 for every dollar you bet. So the most you can win is $250.
Okay.
Or sorry, $2,500.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to quickly redo my math there.
I was just all, yeah, sure.
Yeah, to load up your ticket, it's worth $2,500. All right. Now, if you do 50 cents, you get the $250. Anyway, so lottery officials and the TV station, everybody's taking these daily drawings very seriously. There's millions of dollars riding on it, right? So the machines, they get locked up after each drawing. They have like a whole special space. They're locked up in the space that has 2 keys required to open the lock, just like a nuclear submarine launching nukes. The Pennsylvania lottery official, they had to turn a key. The WTAE people turn a key. And also, by the way, the state official, lottery official would regularly visit WTAE, and they would check the machines, check the balls, and make sure everything was up to code, everything up to snuff. They checked the locks. So they didn't know when these periodic inspections would be.
Right? They don't know when the ball checkers are coming.
Exactly. Nobody knows when someone's going to show up going, I'm here to check your balls.
Yeah. Totally random.
The state's balls, meanwhile, by the way, since you are focused on the balls, the state's balls, they were measured and weighed and determined always to be exactly, can you guess? How much would it be a ping pong ball weigh?
20 pounds.
No. Good guess. 1.75 milligrams. So now for comparison's sake, a dollar bill weighs about a gram. So it would take about 570 lottery balls to weigh them the same amount as $1 bill. Yeah. That's how light these things are. Yeah. 570 of them. Anyway.
So they made sure that they all were exactly the same weight.
Close. Good guess. Good guess. Well, I can tell you about it.
Okay.
Now, it's not going to be easy to rig a lottery.
I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
No, it's fine. I don't mind you getting ahead of yourself. The science is there to ponder. It is right there before us, which is how are you going to get these balls? And you got a senior citizen working as like your helper, as your stage assistant. So it can't be something that they're going to mess up. So what do you do to rig this? All right? Yeah. Now, Nick Perry, he's like, okay, I got an idea for big payday. We rig the lottery. Now, he's facing the same questions you're asking. He's like, but how do I do it? He's like, okay, and you know what I need? First, a money man. So he's like, okay, I'm going to get 2 for the price of 1. He happens to have these 2 childhood friends. They're called the Maragos brothers. The Maragos brothers are a pair of like basically Greek small-time hoodlums. And they're Peter and Jack Maragos. They run a cigarette vending machine business with Nick Perry. So they take Nick Perry's legitimate money and they run it through this small cigarette vending machine business. And they get a little business juice, right? So he comes to them, he's like, hey guys, I got a new business venture. They're like, tell us all about it, Nick.
But I like how Nick has gone from like, hey everybody, to listen here, I got a venture.
He's got 2 faces. So this Nick Perry, he goes, okay, you guys, you're down? And they're like, Nick, we do business, we trust you. You say it's a good idea, we're going to do it, we're in. So he's like, okay, I got my money man. So then he goes, okay, now what else do I need? I need an inside guy. So he's like, okay, this is going to get difficult. This is risky. This is where I could blow it all right here. So I got to be smart about this. He's like, okay, I know who I need. he goes and sidles up to 52-year-old Pennsylvania lottery official Edward Plevel. And he's like, hey, man, looking good in them chinos today. You ever thought about some bell bottoms with those? I can get you in a green number.
He's just sexually harassing him. Look at you.
Look how you fill out them bell bottoms, boy. Get you a turtleneck, look you good. Anyway, so this dude, Edward Plevel, he's essentially the security guard who's in charge of guaranteeing these machines have nothing going wrong with them, that the balls weigh exactly 1.75 milligrams. And so going to him that's the move, right?
Right.
Plevel's like, you want to do what? Hey, I like it. Plevel's into it. He wants to get a little taste, right? So he's like, okay, now I got my money guy. I got my inside guy. I need a fixer. I need a tech specialist. So who can make this all happen? Nick Perry turns to someone, friend of the show, close to him. He's like, hey, the WTAE art director.
I was thinking this.
Oh, look at you, criminal mastermind. So Joseph Bach, the art director, and renowned for his hand painting. He's really good with hand painting, especially like hand-painted letters and so forth, and which is an art we've discussed. Perry sidles up to Joe Bach one day, and he's like, hey, man, how you doing? I really like that leather jacket. Just sexually harassing everybody at work. You. Where'd you get them shoes?
Love to watch you walk away.
So he's like, hey, man, what would you say if I told you you could make $100,000? Joe Bach looks him up and down in the most Pennsylvania way possible. He looks at me and says, who do I have to kill?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Not where you thought it was going, did you?
He's getting hubba.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be an indecent proposal.
He's like, I ain't laying down for this one, but someone's gonna. So he's like, all right, I can make 100 the easy way or the hard way with no wet work? Okay. So he's into it. He's like, what do I got to do? He's like, I want you to swap some balls. He's like, swap some balls.
Hello.
This is getting a little interesting, Nick. What kind of balls we talking here? And he's like, I'll come back to you with all the details.
Get your mind out of the gutter. And slaps him.
Yeah, and show me those pants again. Spin around.
And he drops one of the balls on purpose, so he has to bend over and pick it up.
Little smack on the tush. So Nick Perry, he gives Joe Buck a scale, and he goes, okay, I need you to go buy 30 ping pong balls. I want you to weigh them. Just go to any sporting goods store. Paint them to match the official lottery balls. You got to number the 7, the 8, the 9 to match exactly. And you won't be able to take home an example, so you're going to have to do it from memory. And he's like, bro, hand-painted lettering is my jam. I got this. So Joe Bach, he takes the 30 ping pong balls, he takes the scale, he goes home, and he gets to work. Now, of course, it's going to require a little experimentation. He's like, how am I going to do this? So he tries, first powders. He's like, maybe I can put a powder coating on it and it'll make the balls different. They'll weigh different amounts. That doesn't work. He's like, oh, how about an applique? Maybe I can put an applique on there. The sticker is heavy. That doesn't work. He's like, oh, I got it. White latex paint. Right? Basically house paint. He's like, I'm going to use house paint. So he injects the ping pong balls with latex paint and then paints the outsides. And so he can make the fake balls, they would all still bounce and jumble around in the machine, but they won't. Only one ball will be lighter than all the other 9.
Yeah.
So you have there's 9 balls in there, or I guess 10 balls in there, 0 through 9. And then he has one ball that's not weighted. So all the rest, they'll bounce around and float because he's been experimenting to make sure that they will bounce around.
Yeah.
But only one has the lightness to make it to the top.
See, I was thinking he would maybe paint the numbers on there with he'd put some sort of metal into the paint and make it heavier paint.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, they did not go with metal paint. They just decided to inject paint. That's because
they didn't call me.
No, they really should have. Unfortunately, you weren't born. So
well, that is part of the problem.
Yeah, that was a little difficult. Yeah. So anyway, they decide add weight to 9 of the 10 balls in each machine, and they pick, wait, we can't do that. We've got to let there be 2 balls, because if it's just 1 ball, it'll be very obvious. So we'll mix up 2 balls, and then the odds are basically only a few combinations. So they pick the 4 and 6 balls to not doctor, and they doctor the rest. So now there are only 8 combinations that could possibly be the winning combinations. For those like yourself and I with the math skills we have, the combinations end up being 444, 446, 464, or 466, or they are 644, 646, 664, and lastly, the best combo, 666, 666.
The winning numbers of the beast.
Exactly. So now all that's left to do is purchase some lottery tickets.
Let's do it.
So the Maragos brothers now come back into the picture. So they go and they meet up, Nick, at the local St. Nick's Orthodox Church, because that's where all good criminal conspiracies go down.
Right.
He's like, meet me in pew 7. So they slide on behind the pew behind him. They start talking about how to buy tickets. They exchange for their cigarette concession business profits. He's like, here's your recent payments. He's like, okay, here's the plan. Keep the profits, go buy a bunch of lottery tickets. They're like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, but hey, we're going to do this like real La Cosa Nostra mafia stuff. Spread it out. Be smart about it. Don't just go to one person and buy $10,000 worth of tickets. He's like, okay. We're going to go to Philly. He's like, wait a minute, you're going to go to Philly? Why would you go to Philly? That's Nicky Scarfo's place. Don't go to Philly. He's like, that's why. They'll think it's the mob. They'll put it on Nicky Scarfo. It's brilliant. He's like, actually, that's pretty good. If it's around Pittsburgh, it may come back to us. Go to Philly.
Very smart.
So they're going to go to Philly and buy up all the tickets. Now, to maximize their score, the Maragos brothers, smart hoodlums that they are, they're like, okay, how about we take out a bank loan and really maximize?
Get out of here.
So they take out a $20,000 bank loan. Don't tell Nick Perry. And they go and buy a bunch more tickets. Now, they got this extra $20,000 and all the money Nick Perry fronted them. And they go and they pile into their giant white Cadillac because nobody's going to remember that. And they tour around the Philly area and they buy up all the lottery tickets that they can afford.
Do you think they did like method acting or like... I just imagine that they get out of the car and they go into the little convenience store and they're play acting like, oh, someone told me I should play the lottery. I never do this. Let me buy, I don't know, how many should I get, like 20?
Maybe 2,000?
My grandpappy sent me down here to buy some lottery tickets. I don't know anything about it, but his favorite numbers are 4 and 6.
Could you help me figure them out?
And they just keep doing this, and then they have to like wear costumes and disguises from shop to shop.
I wish they did that. You're going to be so disappointed with what they actually did.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So they purchased $14,000 in $1 tickets.
Good gravy.
And they're now looking at basically about a $4.2 million come up if the tickets hit. And they will hit because it's fixed. So, yeah, exactly. So later on in that same day, there will be the daily draw because they have to get the tickets for that same day. So they're all trying to get this all done before the 7 o'clock draw. They get it all done. And that's when Nick Perry steps onto the WTAE set ready to do his part to rig the state lottery. Everyone else has done their parts. It's time for Nick Perry. He catches sight of lottery official Ed Plevel. The lottery official gives him the nod.
He like taps his nose.
Yeah, exactly. A la the Sting. He's like, okay, gives him the nose swipe. They use the 2 keys. They unlock the lottery machine storage area. I
am so nervous right now.
They wheel the machines up to the TV station set. Plevel, he leaves the machines and the balls unattended. Just walks away. And he's like, I gotta go move my car. Yeah. He's gone for 30 minutes. Now, normally they bring the senior citizen on to the set to practice during this time with the machines while the cameras aren't on. Instead, they don't. They leave the senior citizen in the green room for the full 30 minutes. Nobody tells her what's going on. So she's just sitting there confused, like, what's going on? Now, cue Joe Bach. He goes into action. The art director does his part. Joe Bach passes the weighted balls to a stagehand and asks the stagehand to put the doctor balls into the machine. Possibly a mistake, possibly not. Yeah. Turns out the stagehand is in on it. He's been contacted. So Bach, the stagehand, they act fast. He's like, I need a guy to help me. So they make their move. They get the balls in. They swap out the other balls. Everything's going. Huge paydays lined up for everybody involved. The 2 pull it off. Nobody sees them.
Okay.
So now we are a few minutes before 7 p.m. It's time for the daily draw.
Okay.
If you can believe it, can you guess how many people are watching?
Oh, like 900 million people.
Very close. 6 million people. 6 million people tune in to watch the lottery numbers, which is more than all the other news stations are getting at this time. So most of Pittsburgh that is watching TV at this time is watching this event.
And now, wait a second. This is a state lottery?
State lottery.
So this is actually all over. That's just at this station. There's 6 million?
It's just 6 million people watching this station.
And but it's broadcast at other stations?
Yes, broadcast throughout, yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm slow. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm cool with it. So now... the daily draw, they had the local senior citizen. I told her she's waiting in the green room. Well, her name is Violet Lowry. And they say, Violet Lowry, could you please come up to the set? And so she was like, okay. And she goes on up there. So we have Violet Lowry creeping up to the set. Joe Buck is in the wings watching. The stagehand is watching. Nick Perry is waiting on the set for her to get there. She's the last piece of this puzzle. All she has to do is take the weighted balls and turn them around in the right order.
Oh.
And after this quick break, I'll tell you what happens when she steps onto the set.
Oh, man.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Last I left you, we were at the WTAE set. The tensions were high.
Oh, I am on pins and needles. All those ads played, and it went on for a really long time. And the pins and the needles have been puncturing my body.
Well, I'm here to relieve you of that pain and anxiety.
Thank you.
So, I want you to picture it.
Oh, yes.
Close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
80-something-year-old Violet Lowry arrives on set. She shows up ready to pick some numbers. She's there for the balls. She's escorted from the green room where she's been asked to wait for half an hour. Finally, at 6:55, someone takes her onto the set. The stagehand rolls the large lottery machines into place. Nick Perry stands off stage, ready to do his bit, waiting for his cue. At 6:59, the announcer goes to work. It's the man with all the dollars, the kingpin himself, Nick Perry! Lottery official Ed Plevel leads Violet Lowry to the lottery machines. The machines kick on the bubble. The balls start going. There's all this frenetic action. The fans are kicked to life and everyone's excited. The ping pong balls bouncing against each other. What's going to happen? The balls start to lift on those currents of air. They're all jumbling around. It looks perfectly normal. And then, as Nick Perry explains the game to those watching, I quote, "Good evening, everyone. It's time for the live drawing of the daily number. Thursday, April 24th, 1980. Each of our 3 machines contains 10 balls, numbered 0 to 9. We'll draw 1 digit from each machine. Now, mix the balls in the first machine. And the second. And now the third machine. Drawing tonight will be senior citizen Violet Lowry. Our supervising Pennsylvania State Lottery security official is District Manager Ed Plevel." Violet Lowry watches the doctor balls jumping around and tumble. She looks a little intimidated. The first ball lifts up the chute. Ed Plevel kind of goes, "Do it." She lives over. She twists the number around and she shows, oh, it's a 6. And now, Violet, draw the first digit, please. 6. And the second digit. 6. And now the third digit. 6. And there you have it. Pennsylvania's daily lottery number is 666. If you've got it, come and get it. If not, better luck tomorrow.
That was amazing.
Just like that, the lottery had been robbed.
Wow.
666 is the winner. Nick Perry and his group, they all go excited. They've done it. They've rigged the state lottery. They're all about to be millions of dollars richer. And 6 million people watch them do it at home.
And Hazel's like, "Oh my God, I just unleashed the beast. I pulled 666.
She's like sitting there with like holy water dousing herself.
Yeah, no one's going to talk to her after that.
She's like, "I can't. My church group will not let me in the car with them."
I was so afraid something was going to happen to Hazel when you were doing your little story.
I didn't mean to worry you.
Yeah, it's okay.
So Ed Plevel, he goes and re-secures the machines. They take the 2 keys. They lock it back up. Now, just before that, he had to have enough time for Joe Bach to slide in there, grab the doctor balls out of the machines, switch back in the original balls, and then make his escape. Ed Plevel allows him a couple moments for him to do that. Then they lock up the machines.
Okay.
So now, Joe Bach, he takes the doctor balls home. He piles the balls into an empty paint can, sets them all on fire, destroying any evidence.
Wow.
Smart dude, right?
Yeah,
so that's good. We've gotten rid of at least one of the indicting.
He's got that going for him.
Yeah. So now it's time to collect the winnings. The Maragos brothers re-enter the picture. They climb back in their land yacht, the Giant White Caddy, and they cruise on over to Philly looking to pick up their money. And the brothers, they drive around collecting their cash paydays, and then they come back to Pittsburgh and they meet in a cemetery and they secretly meet Nick Perry and they give him the first part of his cut.
Now, do you know where they were picking up the payday? Wouldn't they have to go to the state capitol to an office somewhere? Or
no,
they
because
go to
it's local lottery tickets. So yeah, they could just...
They go to the store where they bought it and the store has to pay it out?
I don't know if the store had to pay it out, but they went around collecting. And so in all the news stories, it made it seem that they were getting it from the stores.
Maybe there's like local lottery offices.
I think maybe there were local lottery. I did not look into who they're actually redeeming the tickets with. I have to admit.
I'm a logistics gal.
Yeah, no, I know you're into like the paperwork. I was just like, they get the money. All right. So they bring him $35,000 in a brown paper bag and they hand it to him in a cemetery.
Dang.
And they're like, here's your first cut. This will just be one of many envelopes to come. He's like, bet, I got it. Now they got a couple days to collect their winnings. You don't have to get it all that first day. So they're taking their time, right? No one's the wiser at first. But someone had noticed. And that someone was named Anthony Grosso. Now, I want you to know about this man, Anthony Grosso. He knew something about rigged games because he had served time in prison for racketeering. He later would serve time after these events for, quote, tax evasion and violating federal gambling laws. He was what you would call a mobster.
Big Anthony,
real live mobster, not part of like the Scarfo family, but had been legitimately running a numbers game for 40 years. a local numbers game. And the interesting part is that the Maragos brothers thought, you know what, we should rob him while we're doing this.
Oh.
Yeah, and you know how they robbed him?
Maragos brothers.
In 1971, when Pennsylvania created the lottery, what they had done was to basically take over the numbers game from the mob. The mob was the one pretty much, various mobs, but we'll just say for the sake of time, the mob. Mm-hmm. They took over for all the bookmakers and numbers runners, and they said, okay, hey, how about give us the money? We're the state. And people were like, okay, cool. The mob's like, no.
Yeah.
How much are they paying when you win?
Is it one of those education lotteries where they give them
No, it goes
money?
to senior citizens. California's education, theirs
That's
goes
why
to
they
senior citizens.
wheel out the old folks.
Exactly, because it's part of that whole, look, see where the money's going?
Yeah.
It's keeping Violet Lowery going.
I called her Hazel. It's Violet.
Violet, yeah, it's all right.
Sorry, Violet.
She's not here to hear it.
Okay.
So Anthony Grosso, our real live mobster, and he and his ilk, they hear that the Pennsylvania State Lottery is trying to take over their millions of dollars industry. They're like, what are those mooks doing? Okay, how much did they pay out when you win? People are like, oh, hey, Big Anthony, they pay $500 to one. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay $600 to one. So they run the exact same lottery off of the state's lottery numbers, and they say, you pick the numbers and you buy the ticket from us, we'll pay $600 to one.
Wow.
So they turn the state lottery back illegitimate. So what this means is that the Maragos brothers knew this. So they're like, hey, if we go take some of the mob tickets, we'll get paid $600 to one instead of $500 to one. So they get greedy and they go buy mob tickets. And then they come back to the mob and they're like, hey, pay up.
Oh, that is a recipe for disaster right there.
Oh, you betcha.
Yeah.
So Big Anthony, he's like not too into this. He's like, how dare these people rob me, Big Anthony Grosso? I've been in the numbers game since they were knee-high to a grasshopper. So he then decides to do what all mobsters should do in a pinch. He turns to the state and he says, hey, you should investigate these guys.
Oh my God.
He goes right to the state.
They're totally using the infrastructure for their benefit, either to ride their lotto setup or
to be their enforcers.
That's wise.
It's straight Pennsylvania.
Those are wise guys. Hey, zing.
Ding, ding, ding. So Anthony Grosso, when that first move fails and the state's like, look, we don't want people to think that the state, you're saying it's rigged. We don't have proof of that. We can't have people believing it's rigged. This is a new thing. We think you're a mobster and you want your game back. So why don't you blow? And Anthony Grosso's like, excuse me? He's like, okay, it's no problem. I got other avenues. So he goes to the journalist. He's like, hey, journalist, I got a story for you. The state knows that the lottery's been rigged and they don't want to investigate.
Whoa.
So the journal starts writing about it. State's like, damn it. So then now like, okay, they announce a big investigation, right? The investigation is basically a show trial. It's not really intended to do anything.
Yeah.
Anthony Grosso is really disappointed in this development. So Anthony Grosso keeps the pressure on.
So he starts a newspaper.
Exactly. So he just keeps basically funneling stuff because he figures out who did it. He knows it was the Maragos brothers. He knows who was involved and who took his money. So he's like, look, it's this guy, it's that guy. Go follow this paper trail. Finally, in September 20th, 1980, a newspaper story from the area reports, quote, allegations that the April 24th drawing may have been tampered with first surfaced in early May when Anthony Grosso, who has been called the numbers kingpin in Pittsburgh by the State Crime Commission, told reporters that the drawing had been fixed. Organized crime figures had noticed heavy betting on numbers using the 4-6 combination. After the news stories broke and talk of the 666 fix spread all across Pennsylvania, all of the mob gets interested, and of course now the state can't ignore it. So they're like, damn it. So the investigators start actually doing an investigation now after doing the fake investigation back in May. Now in September they do a real investigation. They go around and they go to a bar club called the Dewdrop Inn.
Oh, I like that name.
I knew you would.
Now I have a really quick question.
Yes.
They only rigged it the one time, right?
Yes, they rig it the one time to get the $4 million payday.
And so even if you didn't buy the ticket from the mob, if you took the ticket to the mob, they pay out on it?
No, you got to buy a mob. You buy a mob ticket.
So did they buy mob tickets?
Yeah, they bought mob tickets and took it to the mob and said, pay us $600 to one.
Yeah, okay, now I get it.
Basically, because you rigged the lottery that you're now doing, you have essentially robbed the mob.
Right. Okay, got it.
They're like, you're going to bring us in on your fix?
Yeah.
And you're not going to bring us in on your fix? You dumb mooks. So the owner of the Dewdrop Inn, when the state investigators are making news in the press, he calls the state and he goes, you know what? There were these two suspicious men in a big white Cadillac who showed up at my place. They bought thousands of dollars of tickets, which they weren't supposed to do.
Yeah.
The tickets all had the same combination. It was all 4s and 6s, like they're saying in the news. And then they bought the tickets. But then the interesting thing is they called somebody and then they held the phone up to the machine so they could hear the tickets being printed. And then they spoke in some foreign language over the phone with the person they were talking to, the foreign language being Greek.
Right.
So
wait, they used the phone at the Dewdrop Inn. They're like, can I use your phone really quickly?
Can we call Nick Perry?
Because this is pre-cell phone.
Yes. So they say, hey, can we use your house phone? I got to call my boss real quick. We'll also, by the way, get a couple $1,000 of tickets because we're lazy. We're not going to go to a couple hundreds. We're going to go thousands so you remember us in our big white caddy. Also, an employee at the Dewdrop Inn recalled for the investigators who then showed up to go, what do you have for us?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, man. There's these 2 guys in a big white Cadillac. They had a very memorable platinum blonde with them, from what I recall. So they're doing everything you're not supposed to do.
Right.
And the state investigators go, hey, do you guys have phone records? They're like, oh, yeah. So they pull up the phone records, and the phone call from the Dewdrop Inn goes to Pittsburgh TV station WTAE.
No.
So the investigators then go out and immediately arrest the Maragos brothers, who then immediately turn state's evidence and flip on their childhood friend, Nick Perry. The charges against the Maragos brothers are dropped. Charges are then filed against Joe Bach, the art director, Ed Plevel, the lottery state official, and Nick Perry. Wow. The news team at WTAE has to break the news while Nick Perry is in the building.
No.
Yes. They go with the breaking news while he's there. It can look up and see the monitor, see himself oh, that's not good.
Wait, and then did he get arrested at the station?
Well, here's how it plays out. So WTAE news director Joe Ravito has to make the tough call. He's like, it's news. We got to run it.
Yeah.
It's even though he's in the building and this will be insensitive, we got to run it. So they break the news. Nick Perry's there and he basically leaves. Sally Wiggins was the anchor at the time. And she's is really nervous and did not want to do it. Joe Ravito's talking to her. He's like, look, you got to do it. And I quote, here's how Joe Ravito remembered it. I knew he was sitting right upstairs, a guy I had known, worked with. It was a very difficult period. Personally, professionally, it was a tough juggling act to do the right thing because of the fact we were the station that carried the lottery, because of the fact we knew Nick. We felt we had to pursue the story aggressively. It was a sad thing because here is a guy, you wipe that off the slate, who was a really terrific guy. He was a terrific employee, but you can't wipe that off. This one thing has ruined this guy's life. It will smear this guy's life. He's done it, and I knew it that day. So he's like, I got to do the right thing. They bust him out. So the Maragos brothers, meanwhile, they end up skating on all the charges. Nick Perry gets arrested. Joe Bach gets arrested. Ed Plevel gets arrested. Nick Perry, in 1981, he's tried, convicted, and sentenced to 3 to 7 years in prison in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Oh, right.
Come around full circle.
There it is.
Ed Plevel gets 2 to 7 years for his part. Joe Bach pleads guilty as well. Now, Nick Perry, when he left the courthouse, it was hard for his fans to imagine that the host of Bowling for Dollars would rig the state lottery.
Who knew?
And he would do it in such beautiful fabrics. It was just an insult to the Pittsburgh populace. Now, one fan wrote to the local newspaper, and I quote, it's like Joan of Arc being burned at the stake. I can't see why a 63-year-old man who has a good living and is established in the community would do something like this.
It's like Joan of Arc?
Yes, it broke their heart.
So he had visions?
God told him to rob the lottery.
Goodness.
He's like, I must do this for the sake of Pittsburgh.
For my greed.
So, of course, there's a movie of this whole ordeal because why not?
Of course, it's cinematic.
Now, the film is called Lucky Numbers. It's loosely based on the Nick Perry story. In this case, the guy is a Harrisburg TV weatherman. He's not the Pittsburgh host of Bowling for Dollars. And in the film, he's also he's desperate for a big score, whereas Nick Perry just kind of comes upon the idea. And now, can you guess who played the Nick Perry figure in Lucky Numbers?
Oh. When did the movie come out?
The movie came out a while back.
Oh, well, that clears it up for me then.
It was not a big one in the theater.
So, more than 30 years ago?
No.
Give me a decade.
The 90s.
The 90s, okay. Did they film the movie before this happened? In the 40s? All right, so in the 90s.
I'll give you a hint. He could fly his own plane to the theater.
Harrison Ford?
Nope, bigger plane.
John Travolta.
Oh
my goodness.
So Nick Perry gets played in real life by John Travolta in a movie nobody's ever heard of. But he did get the movie of his life.
There it is.
It's very Pittsburgh. Now, Nick Perry eventually does return to where he'd first found fame and acclaim and fortune. Bowling lanes. The old sponsor for Bowling for Dollars was a loyal and true friend. Dude, it was Wissman Bowling Supplies. Wissman Bowling Supplies did not give up on him. They decided to hire him as a salesman. So he got a job, and his buddy Robert Wissman, a true friend, took the once beloved, now disgraced Bowling for Dollars announcer, and he said, and I quote, "I couldn't have had anyone better. He was an asset to the business." Good buddies, like, look, I got
I
your
hope
back.
he locked up his records and.
Personally, I would say Nick Perry's about as Pittsburgh as the Three River Stadium. That guy, I just love him. Fun fact, since that fateful day in 1980 when Nick Perry and his crew rigged the Pennsylvania State Lottery, those same winning numbers have come up.
Oh, really?
666 has come up a few times. It's actually come up 24 different subsequent drawings. And every single time, they call it a Nick Perry. In fact, anything 666 in certain parts of Pittsburgh and other parts of Pennsylvania is known and still referred to as a Nick Perry.
Wow.
So everywhere else, it's the number of the beast, but in Pittsburgh, it's a Nick Perry.
He's a beast.
666. So, Elizabeth, what is our ridiculous takeaway here?
I think, it's kind of a funny thing. He did a lot of people dirty, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the station gave him this cool show and everyone loved it.
Oh, by the way, the station lost the lottery, too.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to guess
it.
that they said, you guys can't be trusted to show this anymore.
So you lost them.
So, and then now I'm wondering about the bowling supply guy.
Well, I think that was legit.
What's he skimming off the top? I don't trust this man.
I noticed this. No, I
did it to him. What did the news director say? He did it to himself.
Yeah.
He did.
It's one of those, like, I wouldn't say Shakespearean tragedies, but it's up
kind
there.
of. Well, no, you know what it's like is it's like Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I think that's the best analogy.
When before you read me that quote, I was like, oh my god, this just feels like Joan of Arc.
Jeanne d'Arc.
Who's the Dauphin in this? And did they set him on fire?
Now, my ridiculous takeaway would be never, ever, and I mean never, ever, ever, ever rob the mob.
Oh, yeah. That's
all these dudes had to do, the Maragos brothers, if they would have just said, hey, baby, you stay home. We're going to get a rental car. We're going to go out and get some tickets. We'll be back at 6 o'clock. Everything will be cool.
Yeah.
They're like, no, baby, get in the back.
Load the Vixen into the car.
Put on your best fur coat because we're going to Philly to buy lottery tickets.
Put on your glad rags.
Exactly. They got the caddy all shined up and they took that love boat for a cruise and they're like, nobody will remember this because we're going to have this day. It's so memorable.
Yeah.
Now, they decided to get rich on all this mob money and they blow it for everyone. But they didn't end up buying anything or do anything. Nobody got anything out of this. They get all greedy and then they don't do anything. The greed was just the feeling of like, yeah. It's like, it's that idea that your imagination will doom you either with fear or with greed.
Right.
Either one. It's your imagination. Like, don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Let the reality of the mob dictate your decisions on, should I rob the mob? I think I can get away with it. No.
I think only the mob can have the mob's money.
Yes, like that's the rule of the mob.
That's the rule.
That's our money. Exactly. We'll kill you for that. So
yeah, they're lucky they didn't get...
No, yeah, they got very lucky. Anthony Grosso pretty much knew everybody would know it was him. So he's like, look, they already got embarrassed and the state's embarrassed.
He's using the infrastructure for his benefit.
Once again.
Let them take care of this bad garbage.
You clean up this stuff. Get some garbage men on this. So the stupid criminals get caught. The unlucky ones get caught. And in this case, it was both.
Yep.
Oh, and before we go, Elizabeth and I wanted to send out a special message to one of our listeners, Owen Calms. Your mom, Laura, wrote into the show and she told us you're having a rough go of it. We're sorry to hear that, Owen. She also told us that you have a YouTube channel called The History Kid. Well, we'd love to hear that. She says that you recreate historic battles. That sounds so cool. We're looking forward to checking out your channel. She also told us that July 26th is your birthday. Well, we wanted to wish you a very special happy 12th birthday from your friends at Ridiculous Crime.
There it is.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Dutton. Over there is Zaron Burnett.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Zaron Burnett. I'm going to give you a quote.
And I quote. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram. Got a tip for us about a ridiculous crime you'd like to hear about? You want to confess to a ridiculous crime? You want to tell us about your family doing ridiculous crimes? Hit us up.
Rat them out.
Yeah, snitch on them. Email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by the head of the Rhode Island State Lottery Commission, Dave Koustin. Research is by this week's Super Mega Millions winner, Marissa Brown. The theme song is by Maragos Brothers lookalikes Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. Executive producers are Ben, can I get 5 on 777? Bolin, and Noel, did I just win? Oh no, wait, that's a 2. Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.